Hello and welcome to SQL Nuggets. In this video we're going to go through some of the new T-SQL functions in SQL Server 2012. I'm going to go through 7 of these, starting with Concat, Choose, DATEFROMPARTS, EOMONTH, Format, IIF and OFFSETFETCH. Here's the first one. This is Concat, essentially new T-SQL functions in SQL Server 12. We've got a script for each one of these. So what we're going to do is concat 3 strings together. Where possible, I'll show you what it used to look like in SQL 2008 and then give you the appropriate T-SQL under 2012. So if we look at this, we've got 3 strings concatenated together, but obviously that will generate a null because string 2 is a null. So to cater for that, you've got to do a lot of typing in SQL 2008. Under SQL 2012, simple concat. Let's run that and see what happens. Okay, so the first null, second concats them, and the third concats them. But a lot less typing under SQL 2012. So that's the concat function. The next function is the choose function, where we can derive, in this example we're going to derive the quarter from a given date. Under SQL 2008 we'd use something like a case statement and test, for example, the month number, and if it's greater than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 3, it's quarter 1. The choose function allows us to test the expression, and then based on the value coming back, that's the integer number. So number 1 would be the first value that it would choose. If it was a number 2, it would choose the second value, etc. So in this instance we're using 18th of the 9th 2003 as the date, so it's actually going to use the 9th value in the choose function there. So that should give us Q3. So if we run those, yep, the month is 9. Under the case statement gives us Q3. Under the choose function it picks the 9th value, which happens to be Q3. That's the choose function. Let's take a look at DATEFROMPARTS. Really useful, this one. Whenever you need to construct a date from integers, it's quite involved with SQL 2008. You've got to do lots of converting to strings, left trim, etc. Concatenating the date separators, etc. So in this instance, DATEFROMPARTS is simply the year integer, month integer and day integer. So DATEFROMPARTS, nice and simple, very useful. Run that through. 18th of the 9th, 2003, my birthday, nice. Okay, the next one is EOMONTH, which is very useful. End of month, so it will pass a date through and it will give you the end of the month. But the second parameter to the EOMONTH function is actually an integer, so you can add a month to it, or 2 months, or subtract a month from it. So what we're going to do here is do the end of next month and end of previous month. Now, with SQL 2008, it's quite involved. You've actually got to derive the date first, the start of the month first. We've got the actual date in there, so we need to take the month and the year, and then 01 is the first of the month. And then what we've got to do is add 2 months to it, and then subtract a day from it to get us to the end of the previous month. And essentially subtract a day from it to get us to the end of the previous month, end of the next month for the month add 2. With the EOMONTH function, it's very, very simple. We just do EOMONTH date +1 -1. 31st of October and the 31st of August. So that's the EOMONTH function. The next one we're going to take a look at, just quickly save that, is the format. And very simple. We've got a mobile number, for example, here as a big integer, stored as an integer, and we want to format it as a string with first 4 digits and then a space and then the last 6 digits. I'm also using the concat function here to add a 0 to the front of it. So let's give that a quick run. We should see the mobile number itself, and then we should see the formatted mobile number. So a simple little function for format. The next one is the immediate if. The immediate if tests a condition, and if it's true, it performs or provides the first function. If it's false, it gives you the second value in the function. So we would generally use a case statement, 2008, test the values, and then do a then and an else. IIF, we simply do the test. Okay, let's just change that to another couple of zeros, so it actually pulls back the first function because it's true. Value 1 is greater than or equal to value 2, so it says value 1 is greater than or equal. That's the IIF function. The next one, the last one, is OFFSETFETCH, and this is really useful for things like web apps when they want to actually only retrieve 60 rows and then get the next 60 rows and then get the next 60 rows. So they have like a loop within the web page. What we're going to do is create a table, in-memory table called number table, populate it with 100 rows, a nice and simple SQL statement here, and then we're going to select the ID from the number table. We have to use an order by ID, and we're going to say offset of 0 rows, which means start at the first row and fetch the next 5 rows. So nice and simple. The second SQL statement, we're actually going to start with an offset of 94, which will give us the 95th row because the offset starts at 0, and we're going to fetch the next 10 rows. So the first one fetches the first 5 rows, and the second SQL fetches the last rows starting from row number 95. So let's give that a quick run. Okay, so first result set 5 rows, second result set 6 rows starting at row 95 through to 100. And that's the offset fetch. That concludes part 1 of the T-SQL 2012 functions. Thanks for watching.